I've got John Winters with me right now, and of course, he's our supermarket sleuth, and he understands what's happening. Now, the Commerce Commission have released a major decision. John has been anxiously waiting for this. We all have, because this could change the face of supermarket purchasing for New Zealand for the better. So, John, what really did you find out from the decision that's come out from the Commerce Commission?
Well, I really feel all they've done is nibbled around the edges, and the hope we had when I sat for hours listening to the discussion going on online with ComCom in Wellington, and it all sounded very good. It sounded as though they were at last going to undo the big mistake they made 20 years ago when they allowed Progressive to buy Woolworths New Zealand, as was then. And so I thought, great, oh, this is wonderful. We're getting somewhere at long last. But when I looked at the highlights of what had been decided, and I just couldn't believe my eyes. With all
right, John, look, one of the fundamental factors that it's been in the media over and over again, that New Zealand are paying far too high prices in our supermarkets, and that's come down to just the fact there's a duopoly. That means there are two major players in the field. What have the Commerce Commission done about that?
Absolutely nothing. We were thought we were going to see some sort of move to make them sell some of their stores so that others could get in. But no, nothing's happening there. What we've seen, this is a two-sided coin. One side of the coin is sort out the suppliers, because they've been very unhappy for years, and to get the suppliers to have more say in what's going on with the supermarkets, and to have somebody to turn to if things are not going their way. Well, that looks as though that's going to be addressed. How long it will take, who knows? But the other side of the coin, prices. Everything's so expensive in this country, and we need to have something done about it. What's happening with that? Nothing. Nothing at all.
Well, the other factor we heard, John, which must be really disappointing to me, is there were talk of splitting up some of these organizations, dividing them into two separate identities. There was talk of bringing in and encouraging opposition to come in. There was talk of also a government-paid organization to actually go into competition with these guys to ensure that their prices become more reasonable. What are the Commerce Commission doing about these potential solutions that they saw before?
These are just kites that were flown in the sky, going nowhere. It's promises that they're not tackling at all. They're getting on with one side of the coin, as I said, and they're not dealing with the other side of the coin. What about the prices? Why are the prices so high? And if this goes ahead with suppliers, as it probably will, suppliers have got a better voice and can get higher prices, then we're going to pay more. Well, that wasn't the whole idea of this in the first place. The idea was to tackle both sides, and all they're looking at is one. And we had the minister, David Clark. He came on and said, well, we'll look at this, but we can't promise that things are going to happen quickly, and it might take a longer to sort out the other side of the coin, the prices, than we anticipate. And it could take much longer. And I've seen in print, it could be years. So what was the point of that?
Well, the other thing we heard about is how they were screwing over the suppliers. Yeah. Now, I had some onion growers in here one day, and they told me that they were getting $45, wait for it, per ton of onions. And that's all they were paid. My God, there was huge markup to actually put them on the shelves. So what's happened about that, John? Anything?
Nothing is going to happen about that. It will carry on, because there's nothing that's been said in all we've seen and heard that's going to address that problem. The poor old suppliers are still going to be affected, and okay, maybe eventually they'll get a little more, but it's not going to make a huge amount of difference.
This is seriously disappointing, And the other factor was, I note that there's some talk of getting a disputes tribunal in, or someone to oversee it. But my experience, particularly in my little world of employment law, is that a mediation or disputes people are hopeless unless they have a mandate or ability to impose on some sanctions on anyone who's breached the requirements. What's happened here? Have they done that? They empowered these people to have the powers to impose some penalties?
Well, they say they're going to go into that, and that's going to be done. But when, we don't know. But Max, we should have realized when they originally looked at the petrol prices and they said, we're going to sort this out because they're far too high. What happened? it all went quiet. Nothing happened. And this seems to be the way this government operates. They promise
I'm afraid
to
you're
look
right
into
there,
things.
John, because all we get is promises and no substance out of it. Because this seems like another example of being completely let down, and the public are paying for it.
They are, and they will still keep on paying for it. Will we get somebody else? They're talking about covenants to allow other supermarkets to be built near the supermarkets that are already there. Well, how long is that going to take to sort out? You're a lawyer, you know how long it takes to sort these things out. It's going to take a long time. It'll be a slow process. So if you're holding your breath and waiting for something to happen, I would advise against that, because nothing is going to happen for a long time. And when it does, we're going to be disappointed, I'm afraid, Max.
Oh, John, this is really sad news. And look, thanks, John. But look, let's come back with some more cheerful stuff next time. Just a quick clarification. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm an advocate. So there you go, folks. And we're going to have John Winter back, our supermarket sleuth. He's given us the facts today. And John, that's all bad news for us. But let's hopefully you've got some more interesting facts next week.